なたは一体誰ですか？
なんでバレた？なんでバレた？なんでバレた？おおい。
The Summer Hikaru Died has been a really interesting anime this season because not only is it a breath of fresh air for a lot of anime fans who are looking for a mysterious anime that's filled with a lot of horror after being disappointed by a certain anime last year. This is an anime that is filled with so many mysteries about what's happening within the story, but for some reason it seems like anime fans seem to be talking about one big mystery, and that's whether this anime is actually a BL anime or not, because the entire BL conversation has become basically everything that people want to talk about in terms of this anime. But the question is this anime beyond just being a BL? Now, before we actually dive into the premise of the anime, I have to tell you about the premise of the anime. First of all, yeah, you got me, it's a BL, you got me. But no, it's actually not. What happens within the story is that it follows two best friends who stay in a town, but after some time passes, one of the friends goes missing. But then when they return, the other friend realizes that they're not the same like how they used to be. That's not their best friend, and instead their best friend has been replaced by this creature. The feelings that Hikaru had before he left are one of the reasons why this creature has not gotten rid of Yoshiki. His emotions are so strong that it seems like even in the afterlife, they still have an effect. But then on the other side, with his best friend realizing what happened in Yoshiki, he still can't get over the fact that his friend is gone. And this is where this anime gets its really powerful essence that makes it more special than what people think. Because yes, a lot of doors and a lot of interactions between these characters could lead to potential thoughts, but in actuality, we're experiencing the very powerful emotions of grief. Because what this anime shows you is that within this journey, Yoshiki is not able to let go of his friend. Instead, it seems like Hikaru seems to be an individual who is blocking Yoshiki from moving on. Even though Yoshiki knows that his friend is gone, he still tries to keep him around. But at the same time, it seems like Hikaru's body itself can't move on and doesn't want to abandon Yoshiki despite everything that has happened. And as such, within this anime, there are a bunch of mysteries that I'm not even gonna act like I know everything about. But one of the most biggest things that you do notice within the story is just the impact of not being able to let go, to the point that you see these characters grasp onto concepts that aren't really there. Hikaru is gone, but his best friend is acting like he's still there and kind of could be there, and their friendship can be mended in a weird way with a creature that is unknown. But then on the other side, this creature, who seems to be very destructive, can't really act properly with Yoshiki despite it having a very vicious side to it, because this body just has such a very powerful emotion towards Yoshiki. What you're seeing here is a situation in which, despite everything that's happening, these characters who know the truth about what happened to Hikaru do not want to let go, and as such it seems like they're stuck in this weird loop where they can't move on as people until Hikaru is gone. And as such, it seems like Hikaru's wish to always be present for his friends is more hurtful than what he thought, and then the only thing that's left is just this weird creature that's emulating him and not actually him. In fact, this whole situation reminds me of a thing that people do where they try to clone their animals, and after a while they realize that that creature is not the same, it's different, it has its own personality, and as such there's a high level of friction, but the person is just bound on holding on to that memory because they didn't want to let go. And as such, that relationship becomes really toxic. When you watch this anime with all of the mysteries that are happening, because there are so many mysteries beyond this is the one thing that I feel like people are just weirdly ignoring about the subtle approach to grief that this anime is giving us. But instead, everyone just wants to talk about the powerful emotions between two guys, but it goes beyond that. It has so many things going for it because of its ability to just stay in this dark area of the unknown and not knowing what's happening, because this anime has this ability to take the most normal interactions and make them so fearful, because the idea of your friend being replaced by a creature and you not knowing it is not that scary when you think about it compared to other horror type of anime. But then when you actually realize how scary that situation is and the emotions that are happening within this situation and how you can become attached, this becomes an extremely scary story. And it's this anime's ability to approach the normal and kind of make it such a scary place that makes this anime so different compared to your typical sort of horror anime. Its ability to just make you live in this world of suspense and horror and terror in silence is extremely scary. There's so many things about this anime that you could really dive into and think about, but the fact that it's also able to give you deeper meanings within the story that just seems to be a horror replacement anime sort of is super scary. But unfortunately, people just keep focusing on one aspect. Let's go to the possible negatives. If you are uncomfortable potentially with something like that happening, then this anime is gonna bug you out, because there are gonna be some moments that maybe make you think that that could be a possibility. If that does become something that does affect you, then yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to overlook it. But if you are able to, I promise you that what you're watching is beyond what you think it is. It's so much more than that. You're going to have such a beautiful world to explore mentally with every single suspenseful episode, because in even making this video in itself, I'm essentially just talking about two aspects of this anime when there's so much more. But that is really the most biggest negative that this anime has. Everything about it seems to be really orchestrated towards really emphasizing its strengths. The animation is really good. It has this ability to kind of give you a real world feeling, but also this weird sci-fi alien vibe when it wants to. I don't even know if there are aliens, it just feels that way. But then also in terms of the OSTs within the story, they're able to create this very graphic but very quiet sort of experience that really gets you immersed when you're watching the story and makes you feel the tension and all of the drama building up, or sometimes it doesn't build up into anything in actuality and you're still left wondering if something's gonna happen. It's really able to play pretty well to its strengths in terms of the story and its ability to tie the music to kind of leave you in this suspense the entire time, even though the confession of what happens within the first episode in less than 10 minutes. To me, that's extremely crazy. So overall, it's got a lot of things going for it that I think that over time, this is an anime that is a slow burner. It's going to take time for some people to even get interest in terms of this anime, but I think that if you're able to dive into that world and just immerse yourself, you're going to find such a crazy and wacky and weird world that even when you're done with this, you're going to realize that you're going to have a lot of unanswered questions, and it's ultimately going to be up to you to kind of feel them out and assess them. And that is the beauty of this suspenseful and very mysterious anime, but it has so many layers to it. I hope that this anime can beat this sort of controversy where the BL aspect seems to be the biggest thing when it comes to talking about this anime, and in actuality, the anime in itself is discussed more, and the beauty and the work that's been put into it is cherished. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this anime. I think it's an awesome anime, and I think that a lot more people should be talking about it and enjoying it, because it's not that often that you find a very beautiful horror anime like this.